Right now at 6, Tammy Baldwin and Eric Hovde square off in a Senate debate tonight. And Western Technical College adds a new high-tech lab for healthcare students.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Emily Brown. Ken is off tonight. Day 2 of Adam Fravel's jury trial is underway in Mankato. Fravel is accused of killing the mother of his children, Madeline Kingsbury. In March last year, today, Winona police investigator Sabata recalled interviewing Fravel after Kingsbury's disappearance. She noted scratches on his forehead and said he cooperated with the investigation. A BCA forensic scientist also testified, presenting video of the walkthrough at Fravel and Kingsbury's home. Day 3 of Fravel's trial resumes Monday at 9 a.m. A man involved in an Altoona homicide will spend over a decade behind bars. 28-year-old Kamani Goldman has been sentenced to 11 years in prison, followed by 4 years of extended supervision. He was charged with felony murder and illegal firearm possession in the 2022 shooting death of Christopher Connor. Golden is the second of 4 defendants sentenced in this case. Earlier this week, Xavier Thompson received a 22-month prison sentence. The remaining co-defendants, Michael Purnell and Jamon Sullivan, will be sentenced in December. The mother and boyfriend of 3-year-old Elijah Vu now face new charges in the child's death. The Manitowoc District Attorney's Office announced yesterday that Katrina Bauer, Vu's mother, is charged with chronic neglect of a child resulting in death, child neglect, and obstructing an officer. Her boyfriend, Jesse Vang, faces charges of physical abuse of a child and hiding a corpse, among others. Elijah Vu was reported missing on February 20th and found dead last month in a wooded area. Bauer and Vang have been in jail since Elijah's disappearance. An Onalaska man has been sentenced for possessing and distributing child pornography. Today, a La Crosse County judge sentenced 36-year-old Anthony Schmidt to 3 years in jail and an additional 2 years extended supervision. Schmidt allegedly viewed and shared explicit images and videos both at his home and at his workplace.
Well, we definitely had warmer conditions and less wind today, but still we had some elevated fire concerns west of the river, and those have since dropped because the wind speeds have kind of died off. But still, it's very dry out there, still a little breezy, so holding off on any burning probably is advisable until later tonight. But overall, conditions have improved. Relative humidity is still quite low out there. We're in the 20%. Once again, a little bit moisture as you go further west. There is a system approaching Minneapolis area, so that relative humidity is going to start to go up a little bit. But this evening, once again, very mild conditions. That wind will kind of die off a little bit, but still a south breeze out there. 56 at 11 p.m. Very mild for this time of year to see those temperatures this late at night. And the same story for Eau Claire. Upper 50s with that south wind, maybe a few clouds coming in. Overall, it's still in the upper 60s to near low 70s. There's that cloud cover west of Minneapolis, some high clouds with a system that'll be approaching. That may provide a little bit of cloud cover going in later tonight, but overall it looks impressive out to the west, and there are some precipitation with it. Unfortunately, as I'll break down later, we're not going to see much in the way of precipitation from that system, but it is going to be a mild start to your Saturday, more in the mid to upper 40s outside those cold locations of Sparta and Black River Falls. It's going to be a mild start to it. Later on, we'll kind of break down if we get any precipitation in the forecast as our drought conditions have expanded across the area, and I'll break all that down a bit later.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Greg. Tonight, U.S. Senate candidates Tammy Baldwin and challenger Eric Hovde will square off in Madison for their first debate. The debate, hosted by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association, features a panel of 10 journalists, including our very own Allison Ferget. The debate starts at 7 p.m. and you can tune in on our 8.2 channel, the News 8 Plus app, and on our website, news8000.com. The final mill tour for Forest Products Week wrapped up this morning at Stella Jones Corporation in Bangor. The tour showcases how Wisconsin's forest resources are transformed into products like treated railroad ties and everyday items like floors and paper. A specialist says networking with forestry businesses are key in understanding their role in growing markets.
It's great to get people out to meet these businesses, see what they're doing, see that it's just part of healthy, sustainable forestry is having markets like this. So
The event also provided attendees with the opportunity to learn about job openings in the state's forest products industry. Western Technical College is getting a new addition to its facilities. Western unveiled their new extended reality lab in La Crosse at their Come Center today. This lab is designed to help students experience real-life situations using a combination of virtual reality and patient simulations.
We need to be able to train our students in safe spaces in potentially unsafe situations, such as our mass casualty scenario and other items that you saw today that are very pertinent in this day and age.
The lab will be used by several departments, including nursing, EMS, respiratory therapy, and dental assistant. October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and today VARC is presenting their Inclusive Employer Award. The disability service provider presented the award to Marcus Cinema for their role in inclusivity. VARC's supported employment program partners with the theater chain in employing differently abled people. And Greg Marcus says they bring a valuable skill set to his theaters.
These people that have these other skills, one of their great skills is their outlook and their attitude, and they tend to be great smiles and have great faces, and we put them right at our front door. I mean, because you only have one chance to make a first impression, and when somebody walks into our front door and they're greeted with a smile, there's nothing better.
The unemployment rate of those with disabilities is about double than those without. Marcus joins over 30 other employers across the state that have received the reward. Well, what better way to get ready for those cooler temps than with a brand new homemade quilt? The La Crosse area quilters showed off works from local and regional artisans at their biannual Quilt Fest on the Mississippi this afternoon. The quilt show is put on every 2 years at the Omni Center. Over 240 quilts were on display, along with this year's feature of Hmong quilts. They will continue the Quilt Fest tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. After this, the next quilt show will be in October of 2026. Well, we've got another big week of high school football. The postseason is right around the corner. Tonight, one of the longest running rivalries happens for the 98th time. Jacob, I hear we're in for another fun night.
We certainly are, Emily. It's a big night of football here, the last week of regular season here in the state of Wisconsin, as teams are looking to build some momentum before we get to playoffs. So it's Central and Logan here for the Battle of the Arc. That starts at 7 p.m. And later in the show, we'll talk to Mitch Olson, the head coach of the Central Riverhawks, about the challenge that he's got in front of their team tonight. But for now, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Jacob. And don't forget to tune in at 10 for highlights and scores during the Friday Night Frenzy. Continued chaos. The death of a Hamas leader could mean more trouble for Israel.
Become a better you with the help and support of the Y. Whether you're training for a 5K, looking to gain strength, or lose weight, we are here to help. You can be stronger and living better through the help of the Y. Stop by the Y today or visit our website to learn more.
Liberal Rebecca Cook. She's cooked up quite a story about herself. The truth? Cook is a slick political operative who pocketed almost $200 grand electing Democrat extremists. Cook supported radicals pushing open borders, defunding police, and ending cash bail. No wonder New York radical AOC is spending big money to elect phonies like Cook. Rebecca Cook. A liberal recipe for disaster. Strategic Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Are record high energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today.
Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message. You'll never find a better time to upgrade your dining area than now during the dining sale at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota. From kitchen tables to elegant dining rooms, even stools and pub sets, it's all on sale. And right now, on top of already marked down sale prices, you can take off an extra $100, $200, or $400. Choose from in-stock options or design your own. The dining sale, happening now at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota.
Here in Wisconsin, my patients trust me with their personal medical decisions and never ask, what does my congressman think? That doesn't stop Derek Van Orden. Van Orden calls himself 100% pro-life, compared abortion to genocide. And Van Orden said he opposed abortion with no exceptions for rape or incest. Your personal medical decisions belong to you, not him. And Derek Van Orden doesn't belong in Congress.
HMP is responsible for the content of this advertising. Become a better you with the help and support of the Y. Whether you're training for a 5K, looking to gain strength, or lose weight, we are here to help. You can be stronger and living better through the help of the Y. Stop by the Y today or visit our website to learn more.
Reaction continues to pour in over the death of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar as leaders weigh in on what it might mean for the conflict in the Middle East. Bradley Blackburn reports from New York, and we want to warn you, some of the images of Sinwar's death may be disturbing.
Rockets fired towards Israel Friday night could be seen from Lebanon, hours after Hezbollah announced a new phase in its fight with Israel. It comes a day after Israeli troops killed Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar in Gaza. President Biden addressed both conflicts after meeting with allies in Germany.
We think that there's a possibility of working for a ceasefire in Lebanon, and it's going to be harder in Gaza, but we agree that there has to be an outcome. What happens the day after?
Sinwar was the chief architect of the October 7th terror attacks. Israel had been hunting for him for more than a year, but in the end, IDF soldiers killed him by chance during a firefight in southern Gaza. U.S. officials called his death an inflection point.
With Sinwar's killing yesterday, that there's a unique opportunity here for us all to kind of grab hold of to see what we can do to end the war.
Family members of hostages also expressed hope.
Now we have a real chance to find a way to seal a deal.
But among the rubble in Gaza, Palestinians mourned Sinwar's death during Friday prayers. And a Hamas deputy chief said Friday it will not return hostages until there's a ceasefire and Israeli forces withdraw. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
On Thursday, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Sinwar's death, quote, isn't the end of the war, but it's the beginning of the end. Well, more news ahead, but first,
we got a very warm weekend in store. Can't even talk about it because we could be hitting the 80s once again on Sunday, and that could extend into next week. I'll break down if we got any precipitation in the forecast coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
Make your tailgate tail great at Hy-Vee. Pork spare ribs, $1.49 a pound. Bone-in pork shoulder roast, $1.48 a pound. And select pork chops, 99 cents. Save in-store and online, Friday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
With Tammy Baldwin, we've gotten extreme policies that are hurting our families. Baldwin voted to let boys compete in girls' sports, and she co-sponsored a bill to force women to share locker rooms with biological men. Worse, Baldwin's bill would force domestic violence shelters to admit biological men, even though survivors say it would cause significant trauma for women in those shelters. Tammy Baldwin has endangered Wisconsin families. Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Eric Hovde has a problem with the truth. Time and again, his ads have been called false. He's a desperate candidate, willing to say anything. But here's what's true. Eric Hovde has a plan to slash Social Security 28%, Medicare 25%, veterans benefits 40%, all to spend $4 trillion on tax breaks for rich guys like himself. Eric Hovde's lying, and he's not for us.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message. At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we've helped hunters gear up for the season for over 6 decades. So as you prep for this year's hunt, shop unbeatable deals on supplies to make your trip successful. Like 10 packs of Grabber hand warmers, just $5.99. Hit the road and save $1.50 a gallon on Splash Antifreeze. For working dogs, large bags of Victor dog food are $5 off. And keep cabins warm with Easy Heat fuel pellets, just $4.99. Gear up for the hunt and save at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Racist and offensive. Ryan Hipsch's social media history tells us who he really is. In one post, Hipsch said that he wanted a hat with the N-word embroidered on it. In another, Hipsch aims a rifle and comments that he can't wait to kill Muslims using a slur. Then wrote, LOL, that was racist. And that's just the beginning. Hipsch's social media posts are full of degrading terms for women and people with disabilities. Tell Ryan Hipsch that his agenda is too extreme for the Coulee region.
Make your tailgate tail great at Hy-Vee. Pork spare ribs, $1.49 a pound. Bone-in pork shoulder roast, $1.48 a pound. And select pork chops, 99 cents. Save in-store and online, Friday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
Now, unfortunately, we've had quite a bit of wind over the last week. Every weekend seems to have wind with the front coming through, though it's kind of damaged a lot of our leaves that we thought we would have. It's kind of spotty out there where you're going to see some trees that actually have no leaves on it, some that are at peak, and some that are kind of still green. So it hasn't been, in my opinion, that great of a year so far. And we've had wind the last couple days, but overall, a lot of areas are reaching peak cover up to the north of Ladysmith. They've already kind of passed that, past the peak, and the wind's going to take care of it. So one thing to get out there this week and definitely enjoy it. It's going to be warm, so you definitely can see the colors out there, minus not in the way of too much wind and some clouds. There's a system out to the west that actually is dropping snow into the mountains and rainfall in the valleys, but it looks impressive right now. But as that approaches our area, it's going to begin to fall apart. So that's kind of the drawback, as you see satellite right there getting mountain snows. Some of them getting the first really taste of good winter mountain snowpack up there. But overall, what we're looking at is mild still tonight. We'll have some clouds that'll begin to come increase towards the early morning hours further north. Saturday, on and off cloud cover, but it's more mid or high clouds than anything else. Not expecting any rain. Still should remain warm, and the winds will turn around a little bit. And then Sunday, more sun. That's the day we definitely could see a lot more getting up into the 80s. So that's really going to be a warm Sunday. There's a cloud cover by 4 a.m. to the west and some sprinkles or showers west of Minneapolis. This will continue to lift northeast as the whole thing begins to shift eastward, but it's going to struggle to get a lot of cloud cover throughout the daytime. But eventually towards the afternoon, I think you'll start seeing more of this cloud cover begin to approach the area. Just high clouds coming through. Maybe a sprinkle far north as Rice Lake and up to Rusk County, northwest Rusk County. Then it'll begin to slide south throughout the evening hour. But anyway, we'll just see cloud cover with the southwest wind beginning to turn. So all in all, very warm day with just a little bit of cloud cover. There's your highs, mid to upper 70s, low 70s up to the north. We'll have more clouds further south. Probably upper 70s too with less cloud cover overall. Sunday, more sun, and that's really going to boost those temperatures up to the low 80s for most locations, maybe some mid 80s. And if you're asking if that's record, well, it's going to get pretty close to it. La Crosse about 2 degrees below record. Eau Claire maybe 2 or 3 degrees too, both 83, but just different years. So that's a possibility, but there's also a possibility going into Monday that we might see records too. The only chance really of rain is we have a system lifting to the northeast by Tuesday and a cold front really approaching by Tuesday. Combined with this, they may produce at least a little bit of a showers going Tuesday night, and especially going behind this front maybe Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Right now it's a very small chance, and any rain amounts with this would be light, but there's a possibility, especially further south you go, that we might see a little bit of rain. It's definitely not going to be a drought buster that we definitely could use, but unfortunately that's what it is. We are going to cool down as we get into next week, back to the upper 50s, low 60s Wednesday and Thursday behind that cold front. That's kind of where we should be. But if you're looking for, we're going to warm right back up for the weekend before Halloween, potentially getting 70 once again next week.
Wow.
So the mild stretch continues, but this weekend, yeah, definitely get out there and enjoy colors. You'll have 80 degrees to deal with.
Yeah, this is a great weekend to do it. When you have clear skies and sunny.
Probably one of the last few weekends to do it, probably.
Okay. Yep. All right, we'll do it. Thank you, Greg. Coming up in sports, the latest edition of the Battle for the Arc is almost here. The News 8 sports team is live from Logan High School, getting ready for an important game in the MVC. Don't go anywhere.
Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions, your choice for quality, affordable windows, installed by our experienced team. Contact us or stop into our showroom today for your free estimate.
Is your personal injury lawyer trying to sell you a settlement that you don't think is fair? You need a lawyer who won't settle your case just to move on to the next one. Get the full compensation you deserve. Get Bygoff and Rohde.
If you want selection, then that's what we've got at King Furniture. More recliners. King Furniture has more Lazy Boy recliners than anywhere else in the Coulee region. Fabric, leather, even lift chairs. Try them all. Sit on this, sit on that. There's plenty here to choose from because it's all about choices, you know. And as always, free delivery. Just try that anywhere else.
King Furniture.
Nice people, nice furniture.
My name is Bill. I am retired. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I live here in Wisconsin. I am not a political person, but Eric Hovde doesn't understand how important Social Security and Medicare are around here. I'm on Social Security, and Hovde said he absolutely supported cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Imagine working longer, paying into the system, and then poof, you're paying your bills with less. He knows it. Cutting Social Security and Medicare will cost us. He just doesn't care.
WinSenate is responsible for the content of this message.
As a working mom, I'm feeling the pain of inflation. Everything costs more these days because of Biden and Kamala's wasteful spending. And while we pay more, they're giving away our hard-earned money to illegal immigrants. Tammy Baldwin is just as bad. Baldwin voted to give amnesty and taxpayer benefits to illegal immigrants. She even gave them government stimulus checks and free health care. We can't afford Tammy Baldwin and her handouts to illegal immigrants.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
When I called other lawyers, I wasn't even sure who was going to be representing me. Once I called BGR and talked to Brian, I felt secure immediately. I'm so glad that I called Bygoff and Rohde.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
Good evening, everyone, and hello from Logan High School. It is the rivalry game of the year tonight. We've got Logan and Central facing off for the Battle of the Arc. We now welcome in head coach of Central, Mitch Olson here. Coach, a big game tonight. So you have the rivalry, you have the conference up for grabs, and maybe a share of that. How are you kind of getting ready for the game tonight and telling the guys what was the message?
Yeah, you know, I think it's important that we recognize the history and the tradition behind the Arc game, but it's still just another game, and that's how we've handled it all week long, and hopefully we can come out and play like we have these past few weeks.
Coach, earlier this year, you guys had a tough non-conference schedule. Then we get into conference play. You've really got the rush offense going between Christian Rudrud and Gavin Shepard. What is it about your guys' offense that allow for these dynamic rushing plays, and what makes it so successful?
Yeah, well, there's a whole lot of snaps that have been played behind that offensive line. You know, we've got 4 guys that started since they were sophomores that are seniors now. And, you know, with the physicality that Christian Rudrud and Gavin Shepard bring to the table when they touch the ball, eventually you just kind of wear teams down doing that.
All right, perfect. Coach, thank you so much. We'll let you get back to your preparation, but best of luck. All right, well, so big one tonight. We've got lots of teams also fighting for their playoff lives here, and we'll have the highlights and scores here later tonight as well. But, Kate, we got something else to get to.
I know we've got a play of the week. Of course, we got to go back earlier this week on the volleyball court. Sparta's Lauren Schanhofer was doing everything. She would lead the team in kills as Sparta got the sweep over Central, and she was one to watch out on the court. So she earns our play of the week, I should say. And a big thank you to all the voters for making it happen. So be sure to tune in next Friday for another play of the week.
Yeah, so big stuff here. Maybe we'll get a play of the week for next week here from this game tonight. But make sure you tune in for the Friday Night Frenzy tonight. Kate, the season's almost over with. We're ready to go.
I'm ready for playoffs, though. I mean, we've got tonight. We've got to focus on tonight, but then we've got postseason, and that's when just the level gets taken up a little bit, and it really starts to get fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. Make sure you join in tonight in the fun on the Friday Night Frenzy. That'll do it for now. See you later.
Phones were made to help us connect, yet somehow they've made us less connected.
Which is ironic.
Don't you think? We try to put our phones down, but we need to pick them up to see the menu. We can't watch something without also watching something else.
Ironic.
Ironic.
But look, here's a phone company who wants you to use your phone less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way.
Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Traffic jam.
Ugh.
and I'm already late.
I served in the United States Navy to protect and honor my country, so it makes me sick to know it. But our Congressman, Derek Van Orden, participated in January 6th, the deadly Capitol attack where 140 police officers were injured and 5 ultimately died. Van Orden was there. Then he lied about it until social media posts proved Van Orden was there. As rioters attacked it, he dishonored our country. Derek Van Orden doesn't belong in Congress.
VoteVets is responsible for the content of this advertising.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
He thinks he's better than us. Derek Van Orden said, "I don't give a who you are. I'm a congressman." So it's no surprise Derek Van Orden would cut Social Security and Medicare and give more tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy. We earned those benefits with every paycheck, but Derek Van Orden thinks he's better than us. Don't let Derek Van Orden cut Social Security and Medicare. Your community PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
What is a hero? Not the kind from comic books and movies, saving the day. We're talking about everyday heroes, those with a special kind of courage or ability, those saving the day, one person at a time. News 8 Now wants to find those heroes and thank them for bettering our community. Go to news8000.com, click on Features, then Hometown Heroes to nominate someone you feel is truly a hometown hero.
All right, should be a good weekend to do pumpkin patch, corn maze, all the haunted house stuff.
All the stuff out
leaves. There. Yeah, so that 10% chance for rain on tomorrow is really for far northern areas. You could see a few sprinkles, but otherwise everything else will be dry. 80s likely, potentially on Sunday. That'll be the warmest day, and 80s could continue Monday too before we cool off, and probably our best chance of rain the 8th day, maybe Tuesday night into Wednesday, but even then it's not a lot. We cool back down to the 50s, but mild looks like next weekend too.
We might see people at Pettibone Beach this weekend,
maybe on
like
Sunday.
Soaking in the last moments of this summer, whatever's going on here. All right, thank you for joining us tonight at 6. We'll see you at 10.